shifting culture or behaviours at an organisation level or even a large team level is really challenging. And some of that challenge comes because what's culture? We often work in organisations where they have posters on the wall that says these are our values, this is the way we are, but they're posters on the wall. When I walk into an organisation, I don't define the culture by what's written on the wall. I define the culture by the experience I had when I was interacting with that organisation. So when we're looking to support an organisation to shift culture, what we are really thinking about is, so what are the experiences you want to create, either for customers or for colleagues, because it's that experience that defines your culture. We've developed a tool we call values journeys, and basically what those values journeys do is they help everyone in the organisation, from leadership right through the different levels of the organisation, to understand actually what are the experiences that I want to create for other people around me. It very simply says the experience that I have is built on the behaviours of the person I'm interacting with. It's that human connection that defines culture. And so those behaviours that are exhibited within the organisation become really important. And we find ways of describing those behaviours in consistent ways. We think about what are the values that drive those behaviours. So they might be the organisation's values, they might be the individual's values, but how do we interpret those values, those North Stars, those principles that are really important to us through the way we behave? And then how do those behaviours create experiences for colleagues and customers that then define the culture of the organisation? If we just did that, that would give us a set of consistent definitions of what culture looked like. But when we think about doing it for an organisation, we have to think about that human change journey again. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to behave in that way? Why would I want to create those experiences? And so we continue the journey through, as we work with organisations and individuals, to think about what's actually happening with that experience. When I have that experience, I'm actually creating a belief based on that experience. So if it's a really good experience, I'm creating a belief that that's a really good organisation to work with if I'm a customer. If it's not such a good experience, I'm creating a belief that actually, well, I wouldn't go there again, not so happy with that organisation. And the really interesting thing with beliefs is they trigger my actions. So a belief I create in a very quick instance, in a very quick experience, probably dictates actions for me for quite a long time. And those actions might be going back to that organisation and using them again, or it might be actually telling other people to go and use that organisation. And those actions will then generate tangible results and outcomes for the organisation, be that in P&L measures, be that in customer satisfaction measures, or colleague satisfaction measures. So by having that second part of the journey, what we've done is we've helped people to understand actually why having that consistent culture is so important. We've given them the what's in it for me, which relates it back to the human change journey. So therefore we have a structured approach, a pragmatic approach that allows organisations to actually define what good looks like, what the experience and behaviours are that define the culture of this organisation, our very DNA. And then we have a way of helping everybody in the organisation have a consistent understanding of that. We're not saying we want to create clones or robots. We're saying we want people to be immensely diverse in the way they interact with each other, in the way they interact with the world around them. But we just want them to have some clarity around actually, this is the way we work around here. This is what's really important to us. And when you interact with us as an organisation, this is what we want you to remember about us. And then that creates that shift in culture, that shift in organisations that's congruent, that's understood, that becomes the very DNA of the way the organisation works.